Welcome back, everyone, to Bogart on Movies. We've got a great show for you this week. And just a few days ago, we held the first Bogart Film Festival in Key Largo. Later in the program, I'm going to show you some highlights and tell you a story of my father's time in the Navy and how it helped shape his great movie career. Today, we'll look at a couple of movies just out, a little gem that's not in theaters yet, but that has that see it before it's in theaters moniker attached on cable, as well as the film classic 12 Angry Men, My Real Pick, Carla's Campy Pics, and your emails. So let's go. First up, a movie that just came out that's one of the most bizarre yet entertaining true life crime movies I've ever seen. It's Pain and Gain, starring Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Anthony Mackie, and Tony Shalhoub.
Don't you think you deserve better? 'Cause I do.
We're looking for merchandise to shock, incapacitate, and imprison our fellow man.
Will that be cash?
Cash.
It's all legal and binding, and they're enjoying it.
Oh, tell your mom.
I got my toe. You can see the bone.
You do something bad?
Maybe a little.
What do we do now? I gotta get a pump.
That's it. It's good. It hurts. I know it does. That's it. Get it.
My name is Daniel Lugo, and I believe in fitness.
First off, Shalhoub. You know him as Monk. He steals the acting honors here as millionaire victim Victor Kershaw. I always like Wahlberg, who plays Daniel Lugo, and The Rock and Anthony Mackie, they're good as well. The movie's about three dumb as stones, roided up gym rats, led by Lugo, who try to steal everything Kershaw has, even his house. The result is a Keystone Cops series of events that would be totally unbelievable if they didn't really happen. In fact, it was so unbelievable, the real cops didn't believe it and blew off the investigation. This caper, from beginning to tragic end, is so full of stupidity and insanity that director Michael Bay has to remind you that this stuff really happened. You have to remind yourself. No crooks can be this dumb in real life, can they?
Prepare to neutralize the target.
Come on. Hurry up. Go! Get him! What the hell? Did you get him? Where is he?
He was right here. Where'd he go? You see him?
Where the hell is he?
There he is.
You got the wrong BMW?
It's two exact BMWs.
I told you to check the license
It
plate.
was an honest mistake.
So we thought it was the same car. It looked exactly the same.
I can deal with his impotence. I cannot deal with your account.
Yes, they can. All this stuff actually happened, and director Bay has done a great job. He's made this movie so much fun, if that's the right word. It's really tough not to like it. Now, 2 people did die as a result of what these guys did, so that should not be forgotten. And there is some real graphic violence. But again, it's just an entertaining movie. And for moviegoers, what more do you want? I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Now, for our next movie, usually when you look for a movie on cable and you see that it's one of those see it before it's in theaters movies, I'd say skip it. But not in this case, not at all. Here's a look at the trailer for my first sleeper of the year, the gripping, taut, well-written thriller, Shadow Dancer.
You're a terrorist. We've got you. You're finished. You're done. You agree to watch him and talk to us. You're out of here like nothing ever happened. Back to your ma, back to your boy. Nobody dies. Nobody gets hurt. We do this together. But you have to be sure.
We need to talk. Now.
You make a mistake, I'm dead.
We lose you in London. Then you're back like nothing ever happened. Don't leave Belfast. We're not done yet.
Gavin knows.
It's his job to make you think he knows.
I can't hold on any longer. I need the word now.
I want to take her out.
That's out of the question. She's only just got started.
He won't stop until he's put a bullet in someone's head.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I'm not going to let that happen. We made a deal.
Relax. We're all on the same side.
You do this, I'll play as dead.
Did you kill him? Did you kill him? He said nobody dies, nobody gets hurt.
Geez, the trailer's great, and for once it's not as good as the movie. The movie's about Colette, played by Andrea Riseborough, who lives with her family in Belfast in 1993 and who's seen some horrible things in her life, including the murder of her brother 20 years before. The whole family, including her, are now militant members of the IRA. And when Colette gets busted by British intelligence after a failed attack in London, she's arrested and she's given a choice: spy on her family or go to jail for 25 years. People, this is a really wonderful movie. It's intelligent, it's well written, the plotting has twists and turns all the way to the end. It's Hitchcockian in its look and feel. And the acting from top to bottom is fantastic. And the cast. Clive Owen, he's as good as he's ever been as the British MI5 agent who forces Colette to make that horrible choice. And let me tell you, Andrea Riseborough gives a performance worthy of an Oscar nomination. Yup, you heard it here, Oscar nomination for Riseborough. And the co-stars, every one of them down the line, just tremendous. Add to that the talented hand of director James Marsh, and this is a movie that you should just see and enjoy. Whether it's on cable or in the theater, I'm giving it 4 stars out of 5. This movie is just that good. It makes you think. Who knew? And next we have a movie that I was really hoping I would like. Now it does star Tom Cruise, who's one of my faves, as you guys know, in the After the End of the World sci-fi flick, Oblivion.
This is Mission Control. How y'all doing this lovely morning?
This is Jack Harper. I'm good to go.
Are you an effective team?
We are an effective team.
60 years ago, Earth was attacked. We won the war, but lost the planet. Humanity had to leave the Earth. We had to unlearn what it meant to call something our home. Remnants of the scavenger army still remain on the surface. My job is security and drone maintenance with a mop-up crew. 166 is back online.
Oh my God. We have an unidentified impact.
Drones are mobile. Keep your tech out of there.
They are human.
I'm ordering you to return to tower immediately.
They're firing on survivors. Stand down!
This is insubordinate behavior.
Jack.
Tell me, does she bring back old memories?
Where is she?
I've been watching you, Jack. They lied to you. It's time to learn the truth.
Now, the story centers on the year 2077, 60 years after the Earth was destroyed by an invasion of aliens, and with a lot of help from us. Cruise, along with lover and cohort, once again, Andrea Riseborough, who I just talked about for her fine work in Shadow Dancer, remain on Earth as the keeper of the drones. Actual drones that have the job of protecting Earth's dwindling natural resources so they can be mined to support the new home for humanity, a space station called TET. Visually, this movie is a feast for the eyes. The look and feel of this movie is pretty otherworldly, and that's a good thing. Here are star Tom Cruise and director Joe Kosinski talking about the movie and its look.
When you look at this film, the level of artistry is pretty extraordinary.
The idea was to find an environment that looked ravaged from a war, but yet had color, signs of life.
I like the idea of doing a daytime science fiction movie because I felt like science fiction kind of went into the darkness, went into the inside of spaceship hulls, and I wanted to kind of bring it back out into the daylight.
All right, tech's coming online in 30 seconds. Relaying coordinates now. Confirm visual.
Joe Kosinski truly is a visionary filmmaker. He's a world creator. The two words that I had from the very beginning of the project was a beautiful desolation. It's almost primordial Earth. Feels like Earth the way it maybe looked 1,000,000 years ago. It has a haunting beauty to it.
As they said, and I agree, this movie is visually incredible. It's just too bad the rest of it didn't measure up. The script was really mediocre with no flair to it. I thought Cruise was good, not great, but the writing again didn't give him much to work with. Kind of same old for him lately. I said it a couple of weeks ago and I'll say it again. Tommy, I love you, man. You're a fine actor. Now you gotta pick the right movies that allow you to act. For you, it's all about writing. That's when you're at your best. As for the co-stars, Andrea Riseborough was really good again. Morgan Freeman, well, he was back to playing Morgan Freeman. And Olga Kurylenko, not so good at all. The whole film ended up with the look and feel of a fantastic video game instead of a movie. Too bad, because with more attention to the writing and the story, this could have been a lot better. I'll give this movie just a so-so 3 stars out of 5, but worth it for the visuals. I'll be back in a moment with a look at a classic on Bogart on Movies.
I think the American Masters that Susan Lacey and Bob Trachtenberg did with me is about 73% really good. The rest is in the crapper, but I hope they cut that out. I'm glad I'm doing this because this is really a pleasure to do anything for PBS except give them money. PBS is very strange. It's like people begging for sustenance. They're not going to get it anywhere else. 50% of every program they see will have commercials. And the commercials will probably be better than the show. Comedy is you walk into an open sewer and die. That's comedy. What do I give a So what makes me laugh is fat people slipping on banana peels and falling on their ass, and a modicum of wit. When I can see somebody's mind in action, I like bold comics. And I have one question for you, just one. And it's embarrassing. Is there any money in it for me? Do I get paid anything at all for doing it? Well, buy my box set anyway.
Sunday night is drama night on PBS on Call the Midwife.
Haven't you been here long enough? We don't have Hollywood endings here, Nurse Miller.
I think God wants another path for me. You must be sure that it is one you wish to pursue.
Then on an all-new masterpiece.
Woolworth's here.
He's vying for your crown, isn't he, Harry?
Stick with your duchesses, Harry. Leave the regular folk to me.
Mr. Selfridge. Sunday night is drama night, May 12th at 8, 7 Central, only on PBS.
Now we turn to our classic movie, and this one's all about the actors and the story. Of course, you need a good script, a good director. This film had the great Sidney Lumet directing and all that. But when you get down to it, a movie comes down to great acting and a great story, not special effects, monsters, or lavish sets. The movie is 1957's 12 Angry Men.
I'm just saying it's possible. And I say it's not possible. I want you to watch this because I don't want to have to do it again. I'll make myself about 6 or 7 inches shorter, okay?
It's about right, maybe a little more.
Okay, a little more. What's all you want to do that, boy?
Here's what I think happened.
How could he be positive about anything?
I don't understand you people. I mean, all these picky little points you keep bringing up, they don't mean nothing.
And boy, did this film have the cast. Henry Fonda is juror number 8. Do you know he didn't win an Oscar until On Golden Pond, about 25 years after starring in this movie? Tell me that's not unbelievable. Lee J. Cobb. I love Lee J. Cobb. Marty Balsam, E.G. Marshall, Jack Klugman. Oscar Madison was also a fine dramatic actor. Jack Warden and Ed Begley. On the surface, the movie's about one juror, Fonda, who's at first the lone holdout for not guilty in the murder trial of a Puerto Rican kid from the slums of New York, and the other 11 jurors who finally come around to his way of thinking. But it's about so much more than that.
I don't understand you people. I mean, all these picky little points you keep bringing up, they don't mean nothing. You saw this kid just like I did. You're not going to tell me you believe that phony story about losing the knife and that business about being at the movies? Look, you know how these people lie? It's born in them. I mean, what the heck? I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, they don't need any real big reason to kill someone either. No, sir. They get drunk. Oh, they're real big drinkers, all of them. You know that. And bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Well, nobody's blaming them for it. That's the way they are, by nature. You know what I mean? Violent. Where are you going? Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Look, they're lushing it up and fighting all the time, and if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed, they don't care. Oh, sure, there's some good things about them, too. Look, I'm the first one to say that. I've known a couple who were okay, but that's the exception, you know what I mean? Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything.
And look at how the jurors reacted to what's going on. This movie's about prejudice and how you deal with it, about one man standing on principle in the face of pressure and tremendous discord and enmity. Conflict, about 12 personalities, their reasoning and the conflicts in their lives that cause them to come to the conclusions they do. One strange thing, especially nowadays, no women on the jury. This movie had basically only one set, the jury room. In fact, all but about 4 minutes of the movie's in the jury room. So that leaves the actors to do their thing, and boy, do they. It's a great, intense movie that really everyone should enjoy. Now let's open the Bogart on Movies mailbox. Mish in Lake Worth writes, "My family and I watch your show together. We love your sarcasm, your jokes, and behind-the-scenes info. We also love Carla's Campy Pics. So do I. We give you a 4.5. We took off half a star because your dog Bella isn't on the set with you. She's a cutie." Thanks so much, Mish, and Carla thanks you as well. As for Bella, if you look at the end of the show, you'll see her cute little face and hear that Chihuahua bark. So now that she's on the show, I want that half a star back. Now, Martha McGee in Palm Beach writes, "I know you grew up in New York because in your review of the Woodstock documentary you said the freeway in New York was closed. No freeways in New York. Gotcha. Like you, I grew up in New York and Los Angeles. I miss the 70s in LA, the best fun ever. We knew Jonathan Winters. He and his wife were friends of our family, a genius. I miss him. Love your show." Yeah, Jonathan Winters was a comic genius. I remember him from when I was young. The guy could do an impression of anybody, and his characters, they were amazing. And you're right, I grew up in LA, but I moved to New York when I was 9. I've traveled the New York Thruway, among others, many times. And having lived in New Jersey for 25 years, we got parkways and routes. But you're right, no freeways. And thanks for the compliment about the show. You can email me, send me your comments and questions to stevebogart@wxel.org and include your name and your hometown. Carla has a real classic for her Campy pick this week. It's The Blob, which has become a cult favorite since its release in 1958, and best known for the young but terrific even then, Steve McQueen.
Dave! Doc Hallen's been killed.
Doc Hallen? What happened?
It's over at his place. You gotta come now.
Now, wait a minute, Steve. Tell us what happened.
Well, I'm trying to tell you. Now, this thing had killed the doc.
Well, what was it?
Stop with it, kid. But it's kind of like a... It's kind of like a mass that keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's...
Every one of you watching this screen, look out. Because soon, very soon, the most horrifying monster menace ever conceived will be oozing into this theater. Two teenagers see it first, like a falling star from outer space.
Boy, that was close. Hey, come on. I want to see if I can find it.
An old man finds it, touches it, and this is the shocking result. From then on, there's no stopping the blob as it spreads from town to town. It's indestructible. It's indescribable. Nothing can stop it.
This town is in danger.
How can it be stopped? Mob hysteria sweeps one city. Before long, the nation, and then the world could fall before the blood-curdling threat of the Blob.
Starring Steve McQueen and a cast of exciting young people.
Now it's time for my pick, and we're going to go back to 1968 and a movie we all flocked to see that spring, Stanley Kubrick's magnificent epic, 2001, A Space Odyssey. The film, co-written by Kubrick and the great sci-fi writer Arthur C. Clarke, was in its simplest form about the dawn of man to the space exploration age. The space exploration age? We hadn't even landed on the moon when this came out. But its themes are all about life, technology, and E.T. It starred Keir Dullea and Gary Lockwood, but there really isn't much dialogue. And no offense, but the film overpowers the actors, and it's supposed to. Kubrick wanted this to be a non-verbal experience, and it was, with an unforgettable, otherworldly soundtrack. By the way, none of it written for the film, but instead put together with already existing classical music pieces, including Johann Strauss's Blue Danube Waltz, and iconic visuals like the encounters with the big black monoliths, the man-apes learning how to use the bone, remember that, as a tool and a weapon? And how about the rogue computer, HAL 9000, that some 30 years before computers even began their rule over our lives?
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
All right, Hal. I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
Without your space helmet, Dave, we're going to find that rather difficult.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Hal? Hal? Hal?
Can anyone say prescient? Behind it all is the great Stanley Kubrick. Maybe great isn't enough to describe this director. Spartacus, Dr. Strangelove, Clockwork Orange. Oh, he didn't win Best Director for any of those either. This film influenced the like of Spielberg and George Lucas, as well as a generation of young people, including me. You should see it. If you've seen it before, see it again. Now finally, my friends, the first Humphrey Bogart Film Festival held in Key Largo attracted nearly 4,000 people, coming from 8 countries as far away as Australia and 36 states. What a wonderful and gratifying tribute to my father. There was lots of memorabilia for the people to look at, lots of Bogart movies shown both indoors and at special outdoor theaters. They were fantastic. And of course, a thrill for me was to be on The African Queen. This is me and the film historian Leonard Maltin, who was my special guest at the festival and really was terrific. One of the posters at the festival was a picture of my father in the Navy. He was escorting a prisoner to the brig, the Navy's name for jail, when the prisoner slugged him in the mouth and punched my father. That's how the story goes. That pretty much destroyed the nerves in his upper lip. And when you watch Humphrey Bogart in any of his movies, you'll see that the upper lip does not move, kind of frozen. And that was the part of his distinctive speech pattern which so many impersonators copy.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
But what about us?
We'll always have Paris. Now. He's looking at you, kid.
And we'll have another festival in Key Largo next year. This one was great fun, and hopefully you'll be able to join me the next one. It'll only be better. Again, thanks for watching. Happy Mother's Day to your mother, my mother, and all the mothers out there, and we'll see you next week on Bogart on Movies.